Hi guys. This is called Mindful Meditation, relaxing music for mindfulness meditations. So all that's playing in the background. It's Friday, right? I think so. Do you know what? I'm pretty sure it's Friday today. I've kind of lost it today. Oh gosh, it is Friday, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's Friday. That's right. I didn't have my meeting yesterday, so it's Friday. Okay. Someone confirm that, please. I think I've lost the plot today. All right. What do I want to say? Today is Friday. As far as I know, it's Friday. I'm actually got to look in the calendar because it's Friday. So thank goodness it's Friday. What does that mean, though? It means I'm going to round up my week that I've had a very productive week. I've had, these are the things that are brought to me this week. Domestic violence, housing, children in care, weight issues. You know, there's been a respite. So, you know, many of you don't know that I'm pushing 50. It's a big thing sometimes for people that are turning that mark. It's a big statement. That's 50 years. 50 years. But you know what? It feels like yesterday was some of those traumatic memories that are there, still planted in your brain, still having to fight through some of those triggers and the things that you hear. I can't get away from the word mental health. I can't. Everyone that I meet now, it seems to talk to me about their days and how it's affecting their health and how what they need to push them forward, how they could be supported. You know, I've been in a few meetings this week, and out of those meetings, you can see how hard people are trying to make a success of their life. And sometimes that consists of support. Sorry if you can't stay and you're off to whoever is here. Perhaps you can watch it later. But, you know, supporting people is vital. As it says down here, every 40 seconds someone dies of suicide. That's really look, obviously my spelling's wrong. Nobody actually saw it, but it doesn't really matter. I pointed out an error. Look, why do we do that? Point out errors and mistakes. Judgment. Just by the title alone, down the bottom here, it says every 40 seconds someone dies of suicide, and 1 in 4 people suffer from depression. And let's prevent it with education. But the thing is, you know what? I was pointed out today that so you get so many views. People can see that you view, and now that nobody shares. And then here comes a newspaper article that says there's been another suicide. And people go, oh, gosh. And then they automatically blame somebody else. We're all responsible here if we cannot help to divert somebody where there is help and support. Simple shares could have been prevented. This person that died and left 2 children behind, I was so angry that somebody couldn't even share a simple message of mine. Perhaps it would have just gone down the road because it was just down the road where this person's taken their life. And yet you've got everybody using social media nowadays and they can't even share it. It's like, why do they keep this information to themselves? We're not only just up against ourselves, we're up against the Zuckerberg, those people that run Facebook, who allow things to go out and who don't allow things to go out. So my job is 10 times harder to get the message out. So every time I hear somebody has taken their life, and they've left children behind, well, I'll tell you what, the depression is going to start again. We had that about a month ago where a young child of 14 years old took his life because his parent was no longer here. And here we go again the other day, another life taken, and these parents are leaving the children behind. Talking to myself again. Too much for people, isn't it? It's too much for people to just spare the time. I mean, you know, unless, like I said, people are in a job, they got commitments, fine. Maybe my voice, I stand alone right here with 0 viewers. I don't want your viewers. I wanted attention. So somebody was listening. There was a viewer. There was a few. And they dropped out because it's unimportant what I have to say. That's just how I feel. Ignorance. Share the same platform. What's she got to say? Is it about me? Hell no. It's not about me. I think at the end of the day, nobody realizes the pressure that I have. Only those that surround me and realize that I am doing a lot. I'm doing so much. And every time that people want me to help and invest in them and support them, it's no equality here, not all the while. People are takers sometimes, and they will drain you until you've got nothing left and smile up in your face and go, and then complain again. I'm complaining. We shouldn't complain. We're supposed to be positive. But what's positive about trying to get a message out to save life? Look, speaking out saves lives, suicide prevention. That's what I try to do, get the message out. If you all think at the end of the day that this is coming from nothing, then you're sadly mistaken here. As I go, look, so we had understanding disorders. This is what I do, but in a different structure, is teach people to recognize people's behavior. We've got people that are medicating, self-medicating just to get through the day. Trust me, I've been there and hit the newspaper with it too. Yes, the national newspaper, the Sun newspaper. I shared my story out as to why I was sleeping and using particular stuff to get through my days, and it won't work. And I was destroying my life. I was destroying my life because of perpetrators. I was destroying my life because of perpetrators. So a lot of people here are suffering from trauma. A lot of people here are wanting answers. Maybe their child is suffering from, they call it suicide ideation and self-harm. And I'm hearing like there are 20-year-olds, and I mean there's people all over and all kind of ages. And good morning, my love. I can't see who's looking, but if you don't mind sharing, I'd appreciate it. But I'm hearing all kinds of people that have problems, and they've got nowhere to turn, no one to talk to, and very few that understand and recognize what's going on, that emotion, to give them in the right, to steer them in the right direction. I did a podcast and I've uploaded it. Here's another trigger factor for what we're seeing in the news. There was a program on BBC and it said, can a sex offender change? So when you're reading and I want to watch all of those things because it's research for me when I'm dealing with people. For me, when an offence is committed on individuals, that scar tissue for us, because I also was a victim, I'm now a survivor, but that scar tissue goes on for many, 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 many years, forming unhealthy coping strategies. Some people don't even know something or realise something's what happened to them until later it just comes flooding back, or it's recognised by something they've watched, just like, oh my God, this is wrong behaviour. Behaviour in people happens every single day in the community. Some people have attitude, some people don't have attitude. I can't answer that question about what's going on right now. Can a sex offender change? I think the misery that has put on individuals that are affected by those actions of these people is they will never comprehend what us victims go through on a daily basis just to get through the day. They will never comprehend. And the worst of it is hearing them say the actual word is they know it's wrong. It's heartbreaking. The trauma that the people that I encounter have to deal with, including myself. I do this and stand in a position to be ridiculed, to be scrutinized, to be rejected, and to be accepted. Either or, rejection, acceptance. Isn't that what we want is to be accepted in the community? And at the end of the day, people are turning a blind eye to mental health and depression. They can't be bothered with it. Oh, drama queen, oh, drama person, or it's the same rhetoric over and over again. And believe me, I understand, point blank. That is a true reflection, isn't it? That when some people develop these unhealthy coping strategies, these behaviors that they imposes on other people sometimes. Everybody that we're in the circle is going to be affected by mood swings, whether it's got a label or not got a label. You know, we're not no different than anybody else struggling with the day-to-days or not. Some people are just vocal with it and some people are not. So believe me, turning your back to the word mental health, I wouldn't do that. If I was you, I'd investigate what is mental about the situation, what is causing the depression. And this is what I'm saying. People look at that word mental and just turn a blind eye and think that we're just in a box. Well, we're not. If you lose your loved one, if you lose a relative, it's gonna affect you most probably. Some people can't wait to see the back of their relatives, and some people don't ever want to lose their relative. But I never thought I'd be affected in the way you prep your head for grief, but feeling the actual emotion when someone's no longer there, that's a different sense. And some people still have their parents. And so when some people still have their parents, that's kind of unusual to hear sometimes for myself, knowing that I should have still had my parent. So I didn't have much guidance in and out of care homes, in and out of everybody else's homes. That's where the abuse takes place. There's a lot of people here with single parents. There's a lot of people out here with domestic violence, breakups, custody battles, losing their children, not having children. There's a lot of people here who've got disabilities where they can't even move, motivate. People here suffering Alzheimer's, dementia. All of these things that go on in the community, they're not to be turned a blind eye to because they're happening within your homes. If we're saying that one in every 4 people are suffering with depression, well, in your household, I don't know how many are in your household, so look around you. But think about the next door neighbor and the next door neighbor and so on and so on. So that's pretty much every household that somebody's dying. Somebody's got depression. The thing is about suicide prevention and the word, it's about preventing that suicide. It's about, before you get to crisis point, talk it out somehow. You know, there's no time for pride when you're on the edge. It's that immediate help, that immediate support. But at the end of the day, what you get when that emotion is just gone, then you've got to face another day tomorrow. What's going to be there for you? Who's going to support you? And who's actually going to help you with housing, homeless, TV, writing, weight training, mentoring, leadership skills, employment? We're in recession right now, right? We've gone into recession. So how many people's mental health is now going to be affected? All those that said they never had mental health or never suffered from depression, this is going to be a worry for them because they're going to be worrying about their mortgages now and their houses and their rent. Homelessness isn't a joke. Basic human needs. Homeless. Home. Mental health support. Health support, should I say, for more. And so what's going to happen now with all of these 1 in 4 people in your homes? What's going to happen to everyone? you know? Who are they going to rely on? If you can't spread the message now and you can't spread the message that something's available for them, who are they going to rely on? It's about team building here. And I attended a meeting this morning, you know, to understand what somebody was going through in the ethics of business to make a little bit of money whilst they're a housewife, you know, while they're at home looking after children. So the juggling of life is so difficult. And I was, a parent at the end of the day, bringing up children on my own and dealing with my own mental health and dealing with crappy relationships. So you know what I know now, as I pass back the knowledge that somebody can avoid those pitfalls and find their self-esteem and their self-worth and have a supportive team around them. I got this there. I support them. My mom members are people like yourself, yes, whoever is watching in the living room, and people like myself, just trying to get through days but have something to do and feel so worthy of. I like to support the people that are supporting myself. If people have a t-shirt on, I know that they're supporting this project and they're saved a life. That's right, because we prepare and we may provide, should I say, we provide. This is not a sales pitch, by the way, but we provide out of this. We're providing these platforms for suicide prevention. We're providing the education and the workshops and giving people time. That's what we do. And in return, at the end of the day, we're having your one-on-one. We're speaking to you. We're actually giving you a support network around you of like-minded people that actually recognize these disorders. Not everybody has a disorder. Some people just suffer with depression and PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And that is quite a few people. You might not have that title, but any trauma that you've gone through is bound to have that anyway. But when I support people, what comes through the door for me is it shows that I'm supporting them, because then I've got a bit of them in my home, which for me, I received this today because I needed some help with my my bones, my irritable bowels, and to change me and what I'm doing with my body, because I'm not eating very healthy. You'll say, yeah, well, you're mental and how could you lead? Well, trust me, I have support for me, because even though I'm doing what I'm doing, I still get supported through this journey, and I get helped in any department that I need, really, because I need to do something. So I'm not letting the disability stop me. I'm just trying to do something with my life and put the emotion into helping other people. You know, how many people do we say, why do you want to help? Why do you want to give back? I don't want other people to feel the way I felt. If I could just teach them to recognize the signs, the symptoms, their behavior, perhaps we can save life. Perhaps we can help enhance life and prevent fatality. So when I received this morning, my little welcome pack to a 7-day detox plan, is that I'm now going to receive some mentorship from an individual who also suffers with bipolar. Sorry, I don't suffer with bipolar. I suffer with borderline emotionally unstable personality disorder. That's that label. It's a label. But this lady, at the end of the day, suffers with bipolar. And that's juggling work and juggling the mental health. Needs support, because it's hard, and so you've got to watch out for those diagnoses, and you're not to overload on what you want to do. The thing is about those people with people that find it difficult to sleep and find it difficult to switch off, and may even suffer with ADHD too. The thing is very creative. And that time and that energy needs to go somewhere. So in order to keep the mental health stimulated, it's finding something productive to do. I found my niche and something productive to do that makes me want to get up in the morning. Sometimes I just think, oh my God, not again, another day. But then I feel like I'm failing myself. I feel like if I don't, I'm scared. I'm petrified to go back to the breakdown where I didn't know who I was. I'm petrified to be sectioned on a 136 because I've got unwell. Nobody doesn't understand the cycle of depression and living with these disorders, that how prevention is better than ignoring the problem. So speaking and raising awareness at the end of the day is important for me. Speaking, helping other people through what their journey is in and listening to them intently is important to me, because I don't want people to feel like I felt. I want to prevent those mental institutions. I want to prevent people from going to that by learning to replace some of the things that we do deliberately to harm ourselves, deliberately. I want to replace that with talk, open talk, with workshops and education. That's what I and my aim is. And you know what? Whoever's listening to this and who would share this is that I've been doing this for over 1 year, and we celebrated 1 year in business. I'm an entrepreneur. What was that? I was a victim. That's what I used to be, a victim. But now I've got all these other titles. You're an entrepreneur. Yes, but I was still a victim. But you're in business. That's because I'm a survivor. That's because I refuse to lay down and let these people take my life by giving them my energy, by giving them the thought process. They've took too much, and it wasn't just about them. It was about encountering every other day, like home, like approaching the councils, like dealing with the mental health services, like dealing with people that are supposed to help you up when you're down. So it's all of those communications. I've had to learn to communicate in a different language. The other day I had a cold caller. Somebody called me up and told me to go and F myself. And they work for an authority. They work for an agency. So I won the number. Obviously, they withheld the number. But had I got hold of the company of who it was, I would have gone straight back onto there and reported that person, because they were trying to make my life a misery by being argumentative. But you see, that what I would have said is that I would have offered training in that department. So as a solution, that those people that need reprimanding behind those telephone calls attend one of our open talk workshops to understand that their love language and their persona and what they give out was affecting and does affect vulnerable people. Nobody wants to answer the telephone if their number has never been given out and you've got the cold callers. Sometimes it can be really distressing, especially when you really just don't want to speak to anyone and the phone goes and you've got an argumentative person. I mean, why are you calling my phone? Who am I? Who are you calling? You know? So it's unwanted treatment that we want to just get rid of and look for more positive behavior, positive things in life to do. So negativity is what we try to avoid, and that means replacing the depression with something positive. So giving somebody a sense of purpose is important. If people are in business, support that business. If you're getting something from me, are you giving anything back to me? That's true. If you're on my friends list, if you're a friend of mine, I own a business. I don't own a business and make money. I don't get a single penny of payment, no director's salary, no nothing. I give my time absolutely free of charge. Why? We're a not-profit. I did it this way so you guys didn't think that I was a fraudster. And because judgment comes again, and particularly when you're not of the same shade, some people can say, and I've had this as well. The minute I started my business, I had an individual look over our shoulder. What is she doing? The money? Who's holding the bank account? Who's doing this? We'll come to the annual report that's scheduled on the events, and you can find out because it's all there and all legal and legit. So the judgment, because it feels that people think that I don't deserve to be where I am, that I shouldn't be where I am, and that just because I've got a label that I'm not capable of giving people the right and correct information. I'm so knowledged with information. I've made sure that I pass over that knowledge back so people can pass over the knowledge again to somebody else and help get people up. Like I said, my t-shirts, these t-shirts are £12. If you would like one, please just say the face masks that we have, they come in these bags. They come with flyers. They come with all of the information that you need as well. And the face masks, they come in white and black. And the face masks have the Mom Project on them. They're just, if you don't really want it, it's about the fundraising for what we do. So there is all donating button there. £1 a month, you can support us. You know, you think you're supporting me? No, you're supporting the community. You're supporting the community. Go and look at the videos. Go and look at all the pictures. Go to the website, have a look, go and read the stories. In fact, why don't you go to get the testimonies from the people's own mouths? Go on to the TV. You can actually go to the national newspaper, Lewisham newspaper. You can look up there as well. Put my name in. I'm going to come in all over the place on media. Good, bad stories. Who cares? I'm a survivor. I'm here. And I can turn my behavior around and replace all the alcohol and all the unhealthy coping strategies. But sometimes I get to the point where this life here of being sober, this life here of being good, I miss the fun. I miss the fun. And that means I miss the fun of drowning out people when they disappoint you and they don't help. And that means I could just go in the back bottle of the bottle, what I used to do, and switch off and make a prat of myself and always go out clubbing it to get the center of attention. Why? Because nobody actually really bloody listened to me when they were in my circle. Not really. Only those few, especially those that really did save my life, get me and understand me and support me like I support them. So it's a very equal balance when somebody tells me that I've saved their life. I will say that they add value and save my life. There are days I don't want to get up. There are days that I want to cry. But I'm not allowed to show weakness on Facebook because I've been told and ridiculed off that you look weak, you look pathetic. How can you run a business if you're going to cry? How can you help or be a testimony to somebody else if you're going to cry? I'm crying because the people ain't listening. I cry because there's death after death after death after death. And I cry no matter how much I shout from the rooftops and say, share. When I look and it says 76 views or 86 views or whatever views, and then it says one person shared, I want to say that one person, you may have just saved life. Thank you. And for all the others that turned your back and couldn't share a free Facebook platform, be ashamed. Be ashamed. I can't have people that want to weigh me down and pretend to be fake supporters. You're either supportive or you're not supportive. And that goes for anyone that's in my circle, that if I encounter people, then I need to show that I'm supporting their business. I'm supporting them, the individual person that wants to feel better about themselves, that have come away from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. It's easy for me to say it that way. That are dealing with diagnoses. It's important that I stay and I maintain that support with my members because they support what we do. And what they've done is they've put their life on the line. They've put all their secrets out and they've said, you know what? I'm a survivor too. I have a diagnosis too. I'm not ashamed, but this is what I'm trying to do to maintain my health and well-being. Can you help me whilst I grow? That's all we ask for. Can you help someone grow? Or would you keep someone there because you don't like the look of them? Because you don't like what they're doing? Or because they didn't give you time? This isn't about you or just you. This is about all of those people out there that are losing their family and leaving little kids behind, saying, where's mummy and daddy? So yeah, do your part, because I can hear the mothers crying. I can hear the mothers crying. Do your part. and share the awareness. I can hear the fathers crying. You know, life, just because they're little children doesn't mean that we're not someone's child. No matter what, somebody gave birth to us, we're still someone's child. And even if they're not here on this earth anymore, they would still probably want the best. If they had another world to change everything, they would want the best for you. They would want the best. We all make mistakes in life, but given the opportunity to turn it around is important. Being accepted is important. Being supported is vital. Will you support me and share this? Or will you be ignorant? And I will use that word. I'm going to say it. People say, don't speak to your viewers like that. Well, they're not really my viewers if they're just going to stand by and watch me and don't share. So I don't need people who are not going to contribute to what we're trying to do here. I don't need people just watching me and not helping me. That's just the same as everybody else that sat there and turned a blind eye to the things that went on. It's exactly the same. Because I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about everybody out in that community needs some support, needs some raising awareness. Somebody might get this message and say, no, I want to speak up. I want to tell somebody what it feels like to have this happen to them and to give them the signs so they can avoid it. It's not easy putting all your dirty linen out in public. It isn't. Because you're set to disappoint somebody out there. Oh, she's off again, is she? I've had friends talk behind my back. So no, they're not friends anymore. Because I've heard them saying, she could deliver this better. She could do that. Well, you try living with mental ill health. You try living with the labels. You try dealing with depression, anxiety, and trying to maintain that little beast inside of you. You try doing that when everybody's ridiculing you with judgment. So just like certain friends that say that to me, again, is judgment. So that just adds more to me that says I can't trust those around me. And that's what's going on in the community. Nowhere to turn, because those that we had in our life are turning their back and being ridiculing people because they've got mental health, rather than understand it, where they can help them with the love language and change the love language, and don't just be a passerby. Be somebody that's going to pay an interest and be supportive. Do you know how many people's businesses back before I started, I was helping, I was supportive, and then they all let go of your hand and stop supporting because they finally realize that you're getting ahead of them. I don't need to be ahead of anyone. I wanted to be an equal to everybody. And that means that you're not going to be any better than me in this survival game of depression and the rat race of work. No one's better than anyone here. It's helping somebody. Support somebody. Somehow. Small, little, plant the seed. Every Wednesday, I offer open talk therapy. Open talk therapy. Help you with your mental health. Help you with probably with your businesses or anything that you need. I offer that. We bring the experts in, so you have it available. Next minute, I get a call. I'm in the mental health unit. That's no good, darling. You need to talk before you get to the crisis. I know it, and that's why I tell you. If I didn't talk and I didn't have this lifeline, I don't know where I'd be today. I don't know how well I'd be today. I don't know with what I've been up against, what past tense, what I was up against. I think if I didn't have it in my mind that I have to be some kind of a role model, then I would have given up. But because I am a bit of a role model, and I'm a truthful one too, I don't beat around the bush, and I'm not going to tick you off of a tick box and say to you, what's borderline personality disorder? How common is borderline personality disorder? What if you disagree with the diagnosis? I cannot read off of a book. That is not me. I tell it from the heart because I've had a lived experience and I still live with that label. I was supposed to go out this morning and it's difficult, which is disappointment. It's a failure. And I work better when I have my support with me to go to where I need to go. Sometimes I don't even get to the shop, you know, because of judgment. So it's not all a bed of roses life, you know. It's difficult in departments that you don't even know of, and I'm just me, and there are people like me, very similar, that are going for the same and are very quiet, and that's your friends and that's your neighbors around you, your family around you, and maybe even you. I'm just offering a solution. I'm offering you to tell people about the MOM project, mental health awareness, suicide prevention, real talk. That means they can come on and express or share a piece of information. You can also look out for Mind Over Matter Gives Back, because anytime you see that going out, you know we're giving back. So that's us. That's me, a survivor just wanting to make a difference. With your help, you can too. If you don't want to, that's your choice. I have a conscience so clean that I know that I'm doing my part for the community, and I'm saying what's on my mind, please or offend. It's my space, my time, and you've given me time today because you sat here and you've watched. So I want to say thank you, and if I can do anything to give you time back, I'm here for you too. And thank you. I really, really, really appreciate the fact that I didn't sit here alone in this. Thank you. I won't take up any more of your time, but if you share the awareness, I'd be really grateful. So, how to get out of the house? Open the door, walk to the patio door, embrace the fresh air, then think, and then plan, and then get someone to meet me the other end, and I'll be fine. It's Friday. I've got a baby to go and see. Okay, take care. Thank you very much for your time. And I'm Kerry Mussington. Don't you ever forget my name. I'm Kerry Mussington. I'm a survivor. And I'm doing something for the community. Thank you for listening.